Hello everyone, this is Jahanvee Achantani and you're watching Lakecity Live. Today we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Arjan De Wagt, and he is the Chief of Nutrition Section, UNICEF India. Welcome, sir,
Thank
to
you so much.
JLU. I have a few questions for you to ask after the very insightful panel discussion that we've had today. I had a few doubts, so let's just get them cleared. To start with, as we have been talking about nutrition literacy, what are certain small, very small suggestions that you would have for us, the youngsters, to incorporate in our day-to-day lives
Yeah.
as a part of healthy
Healthy
lifestyle and nutrition? Yes.
You know, let's talk about healthy diets, balanced diets. They're words that we hear all the time, but do we even know what it is? Somebody was asking me how to explain it. For me, a healthy or balanced diet is a colorful diet.
Okay.
It's colorful, nourished. I see a plate here with many different colors. I see the green leafy vegetables, which are very rich in micronutrients, in vitamins and minerals. It's got iron, it's got vitamin A. Yeah, it's got a lot of the nutrients, the micronutrients we need. We then have got the yellow dal, which has got a lot of protein. Yeah, in the lentils, a lot of protein that are very, very important, make you very strong. Yeah, and they protect your body also against illnesses. And then I see maybe an egg, white and yellow. I can see maybe chicken, whitish, white meat. I can maybe see a liver. Liver is a very nutrient-dense food. I can also see the rice, which is white, yeah, or the chapati, which is yellowish and brown. If throughout a day you don't eat many of the colors, you're in trouble. Now
Okay.
also take the fruits. Fruits have got so many colors. Yeah? If you eat a day without fruit or vegetables, that's not good. That's really not good. And do we notice it? No, we don't feel, we might say, hey, I feel my stomach is full, I've eaten my rice, I've eaten my chapati, I'm not hungry. You might not be hungry, but that does not mean that you're well nourished. You might still feel tired. You might not sleep well. Yeah, you might have anemia. You might not be able to concentrate as well. But that might be because of malnutrition. And often we don't realize that. So the very simple thing would be eat the rainbow in a day. Every day. Don't skip days. Every day, take care, you eat the rainbow. There's many colors. Yeah? Because if you eat the colors, then you have all the foods. Normally you have got different foods that you need. And then there's something like anemia. Yeah, we see that about half of all women in India have anemia. And if you don't have anemia today, you might have anemia next month or next week. Anemia means that your blood is not strong enough. It cannot transport all the oxygen to the parts of the body where it is needed. You see that people with anemia, they cannot concentrate well, they're tired very quickly, and their performance is less, also at school, but also at work. Or children, they cannot grow well because they are tired, because they cannot grow, because they just don't have the nutrients in the body to grow. Or again, they can barely play. Playing is also very important. Now, anemia, again, can be prevented often because or by having that colorful diet, but also test and treat. And the government has started, Ministry of Health started programs to test and treat people for anemia. And I would recommend everybody go for a health checkup at least twice a year and get this little finger prick done. And in the blood they can see, do I have anemia? If you have anemia, they give IFA tablets, iron folic acid tablets. That's some key micronutrients. And that helps you to feel stronger. So I really would encourage people, take nutrition more important. Nutrition is not the food that you eat. Nutrition is beyond that, it's more. And don't think I'm not hungry, I've eaten a nice meal, it was delicious, I'm well nourished. If you miss the rainbow, you miss the nutrition.
That was a perfect answer, and we really would try and incorporate these things in our regular day-to-day lives. So, sir, we were talking about the rural and the urban India, and is it different when
Yeah.
you put together the efforts that you have for Impact for India, Impact for Nutrition? Is it very different in rural India and urban
Yeah.
India? How you get
Yeah.
the, how you make people aware and
Yeah.
how you get the response from the
Yeah.
people around?
You know, first of all, you have malnutrition in urban areas or rural areas. We see that maybe the prevalence might be sometimes higher, slightly higher in the rural areas. But keep in mind, in the urban areas, there are more people. Yeah, so you might have a lower prevalence, but because you have more people, you got a lot of people with malnutrition as well. Also, malnutrition is not the problem of rich people and of poor people and rich people don't have it. If you take stunting, and stunting means that you're too short.
True.
Of course, length doesn't really matter. I mean, being short or tall doesn't really matter. But stunted also means that your immune system is stunted. It even means that your brain is stunted. It didn't fully grow because you didn't have all the nutrients. Yeah, so being the length is a measure as a child, what you ate as a young child. Well, we see that among the poorest, 20% of the poorest people, 20% poorest people, we see that stunting in young children is about 50% in India. However, among the richest 20%, it's still 20. It's also 20% of the richest kids are also stunted.
Okay.
So we see stunting, malnutrition being among the rich and among the poor. Some people say it's genes. No, it's not genes, because you see that when people eat well, they can achieve the same length as people in other countries. So we see that it has got to do more than with poverty, yeah, and it's got more to do with where you live, urban or rural. Now there are companies working in rural areas. There are companies working in the urban areas. Companies have got clients, customers in urban areas and in rural areas. Yeah, so their reach as companies, if companies want to promote nutrition awareness, which is what the Impact for Nutrition is about, through their employees, through the customers, or through the places where they work, the communities in which they work, they can reach both to the urban and the rural areas. And they can, in both settings, they can promote awareness about health and nutrition.
This is true. Through brands and companies and CSR activities, it
Yeah.
is easier to
Yeah.
create this awareness. So, furthermore, I also was checking in that UNICEF has been doing a lot of projects and a lot of activities globally in a lot of
Yeah.
countries. Especially, we have a lot of projects in Africa, for
Yeah.
example. So, are there any examples or case studies of something that has been done in the same lines of nutrition that can also be modeled here in India?
There are many examples. Yeah, at the same time, I think it's also very important for India to realize the Indian context and the Indian power. India can shoot rockets to the moon.
True.
India can stop malnutrition. Yeah, and Impact for Nutrition for me is an example. India, this is an Indian solution. We see not in many countries the private sector are that big and that impactful. And I think that's actually Impact for Nutrition, and particularly here in MP, it's amazing what's happening in MP. Having the government sitting here together with the private sector on one platform to discuss the same issues is amazing. And we're really looking actually for MP to start sharing this with other states in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also other states start mobilizing the private sector, empowering the private sector, and giving them the power to act to stop malnutrition. So I would say, don't look too far out of India. A lot of the answers are within India. You have the brains, you have the reach, you have the money, you have the expertise. Stop child malnutrition. Maybe not today, but let's try to stop it tomorrow.
That's an amazing pledge, and that really is true. India being another country, we cannot compare it with other countries and their developmental goals. Just the last part, sir, that how do you see the student bodies contributing
Yeah.
and making a difference, like the corporates and the governments
Yeah.
are working with Impact
Yeah.
for India and Impact for Nutrition? How do you see the student bodies helping in this case?
Congratulations, that's what you're doing at this moment. At this moment, you're contributing to it. You know, young people, we often say you're not only the future, but to me, you can make change. You can contribute things. And it's not about, what I find interesting is the energy among young people to take control. First of all, they demand from others, continue doing it. But they also take control of space that they have. I would say to the student body, start educating students about health and nutrition.
Right.
Yeah, if you have a journal, if you have the social media, start putting out some of the messages.
Okay.
Yeah, you can even cut and paste some of the messages and some of the tools of Impact Nutrition.
We'll
Just
be
cut
doing
and
that.
paste them don't even have, you can put your own branding on it. Perfectly, use it. It's Impact for Nutrition is owned by no one, it's for everyone. Yeah, so take it, educate your students about healthy eating, about colorfully nourished, the rainbow meals. You can even, as students, you can organize and test in 3 days, organize twice a year. You got Poshan Pakwara in March and Poshan Ma in September. Yeah, 2 times in the year, that is a lot of attention for nutrition. Organize a nutrition camp as a student. Don't ask anyone else. Or, by the way, reach out to 1 or 2 companies to help you. Yeah, you organize a nutrition camp, and you get some dietitians, or maybe students who have studied nutrition, to counsel other students about healthy eating. Okay. A lot of young people are concerned about how they look, how they eat.
Of course.
Some want to eat good food because they want to do bodybuilding. Other ones want to eat very well because they want to do high-level sports. Other ones are dealing with the challenge of eating too much and maybe feeling uncomfortable about it and not being able really to understand or knowing what to do about it. So you can organize platforms where students can get counseling support around nutrition. But you can also test and treat for anemia. So take that initiative, continue throughout the year. You look for opportunity to educate the other students. But twice a year, have this nutrition camp, whatever you call it. Come up with a nice name, mobilize them by students for students. But then also realize that your world is much bigger. Yeah, your world is also back home, and you're going back to the family. Educate your mom. Educate your auntie. Educate your grandmother. Educate your grandfather. Educate your father. Yeah? Educate them, brothers, sisters, the neighbors. So your world is much bigger. Be active on social media around this. Yeah? Get educated and educate others.
We'll surely take all these things into consideration, and we keep having different projects, festive things and everything happening here. So we'll surely contribute to this and have events for this, and we'll again call you for that. Just one more thing, sir. Could we have a small message from you to all the JLE students?
All the students.
All the students of the university.
My message to all students would be, nutrition is important. It's more important than you often realize. Yeah? Nutrition and eating is a social event. We all like coming together to eat and to drink. It's a social event. But also don't forget, it's also a biological event. When you eat, all those nutrients, the bad ones and the good ones get in your body. Get educated about nutrition. Fundamentals. You don't have to get a master's or a bachelor's or a PhD in nutrition. Get basic understanding for nutrition. Get interested. Explore it. Explore what it can do for you personal. And it's different. You might be a sports person. Yeah? Or you might be a lazy person. Or you might be thick or thin. Or whatever. Nutrition is important for all of us. Get educated. Talk to each other. Learn from each other. Educate each other. And eat that rainbow. Eat the colors of the food. A balanced meal. All the nutrients need to be there. All the colors need to be there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable and insightful pointers. We'll make sure that we keep having a colorful and a rainbow diet. And this is how at Lake City Live, you'll keep watching a lot of other eminent people coming and interviewing with us. And we'll keep getting more information ahead. Thank you for watching Lake City Live.